Okay, so you're against Jin, Zyra. I would probably start longsword 3 potions against a match like this, because you probably want a lot of sustain. They do have some potential to like engage on you and just kill you, but that more comes around level 6. In the early levels, you want some sustain against them, so longsword 3 potions would work pretty well there. What is your expectation for today? Probably plat 2 if I skip plat 3, otherwise maybe not. Yeah, so at the start of the game you do want to like cover this tribe rush. You can also just place a ward if you want to be extra safe, so that's fine. As long as you're covering it one way or another, with your body or with your ward. What runes are you using? Okay, yeah, these runes are pretty much exactly what you would want to use if you're using Lethal Tempo. You could also use Halo Blade. Some people don't like it, but I think it's like the best option by far at the moment on Ashe. You would want to use Halo Blades with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter, and same runes all over here. You do miss out on the Presence of Mind, which can be annoying. These runes are fine as well, just, in my opinion, not the best ones. Okay. When you get into lane, you just want to like start hitting the minions. You start off with 1 minion, so you can set it up for the first last hit. And that makes it so the minions don't get to this awkward point where you're trying to last hit 3 at once. Where you use W there. You didn't need to use W for that though. You want to save W for harass if possible. You should also be hitting the minions right now, just trying to raise them to level 2. As you can see, Jin is going to be hitting level 2 long before you because he's been shoving the wave the whole time. So you're just standing around not doing much. So now they're definitely going to be hitting level 2 before you, so you want to back off. It's fine, they're not going aggressive, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, definitely gotta watch out for that brush cheese. If you position yourself right about here, you can actually, like, you could last hit those casters without being at risk of Zyra engaging on you there. You didn't have to play so safe and give up that farm. So here you want to set up this melee so it'll be around the perfect HP for you to last hit when the turret hits it once. Okay, nice. Because you probably have to expect that melee would run under turret before you could just kill it from full HP. So better to leave it at like 50% HP. So that the turret shot leaves it at 10% and then you lost hit it. Same for that melee there. Okay, there you just want to use W and back off. Can't follow it up with anything else. Just as he did, good. You should have also placed the trinket by now. I guess you don't actually have a trinket right now, though. No, actually you do, I think. Yeah. So, right now there's no need. You just want to focus on shoving this in, but... Or, not shoving this in, but like, getting these minions. And once that's dealt with, you just want to walk up and place a ward there. Make sure you're not getting cheesed by the gank while you're trying to farm like over here later on. Or even a dive. They might try and dive you. It's very unlikely to happen at this MMR, but it's something you gotta watch out for. Shouldn't have hit that. I think if you just, I mean, there's not much to coach with like minions. It just comes with experience, really. But I think you could have lost it that kind of just by not trying to set it up. I think the setup was fine already. So you just want to go directly into Jin. Hit W, hit him with W. Like hang on. So you've already got W up. Like at this point, honestly, might even want to flash on him. But like after you see this happening. Right now, immediately you want to throw out W. This is going to reach Jin. And then you just want to like chase him down immediately. You're pathing right now. I'm not sure exactly where you're pathing to. But it's not directly towards Jin. And you're also wasting your W right now. You're not using it when it's up. When you could have... Like, he could already be slowed. You could already be slowed by your W and then slowed by your autos. It took you a really long time to realize that Jin was actually killable here, and so your team doesn't end up being able to take that kill. Heal was also necessary there. Nobody was at risk of dying. Wait, was that your heal? Was that their heal? Wait, I'm trolling. Okay, sorry, that was their heal. I don't know why I got that confused. You can watch other players' games from the client, yes. Here we'll just freeze. Honestly, no need to shove there. Even if you want to back, freezing is still an option, and you just back with the wave frozen. And I'll go over that later. Okay, no, hang on, I'll just go back right now. So, here, for example, no, hang on, we're still not far enough back. Clan seems to be frozen now. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to restart. It's literally frozen. Oh! Okay, here we go. Okay, so in this position, this is what we call a freeze. This is when their minions are pushing harder than your minions, and that means that the wave is pushing towards your lane. Wave is pushing towards your side of the lane, and because they have a minion advantage, more of your minions are dying than their minions. Meaning, if both you and Jin were to just leave the lane right now, he would miss out on more of this. He would miss out more from this than you would. So, if we assume that Jin is going to back right now, then the way you make him miss the most CS isn't going to be by immediately starting to shove, because this wave is like so far on your side of the lane, and there's also like quite a few minions here, and you're playing Ashe who doesn't have much early wave clear. It's gonna take you a really long time to shove this. You take a while to shove this, then you have to shove this next wave as well. By the time you actually get it to crash into the turret, if Jin had backed, he would like be arriving into lane already, and he wouldn't miss out on much. The way you make him miss out on the most CS here is if you want to back and you're assuming that he's backing, then what you do is you just recall. You're not going to miss as much CS from this as he would. So long as this wave is not so big that it's going to immediately crash into your turret and you miss all of this, which is not the case. It's a big enough wave that it's going to push towards you, but not fast enough to crash before you get into lane. So at this point, if you think he's backed, you freeze. If you think he's not backing, you still freeze. Because this is how you like abuse the HP advantage that you just gained from that Warwick gank. You just keep this wave frozen here, and you make Jin have to walk all the way up if he wants to farm. By shoving this out, you are going to be pushing the wave towards him, and he can safely loss it under turret, which is not what you want. And the difference like between whether he backed or not, or like whether he backed or not, sorry, not very good at explaining himself, but basically if he's backed and you want to back as well, obviously because you want to match his items, then you should back. Whereas if he hasn't backed and you're you can't really tell, but if you're guessing that he hasn't backed, then what you want to do is you just stay here. You don't have to back, you don't have to go match his items. If you back when he hasn't backed, you can just walk up here, shove this in, and then recall. That would not be ideal for you. Also, you should actually probably have E, I think. Let me check. Yeah, so you have E. You can actually check right now. You can remove all this vision here, and you can see, yeah, Jin is not backing. You have like every possibility to make the exact right choice here. You have the information available if you want to go and get it. You can see that he's not backing, which means that the right move here is to, keep it frozen. The right move either way is to keep it frozen. The only thing that is the variable is like whether you want to back or not, which depends on whether he's backed or not. You can see he hasn't backed, so you want to keep freezing and not back. Okay, so yeah, I needed to pause for that because that's a bit of an in-depth explanation. So aside from that, so you see there's this fight going on over here. But you don't want to like immediately move up here and go and join them. If it means that their opponent is just gonna walk up here and shove this in, and you're gonna miss out on this entire wave, and there's no guarantee that you actually get anything from here. But once you see the enemy bot lane moving up, it is worthwhile to try and move up here because they're not gonna shove this in, so you may as well move up here, try and join the fight. But already been moving, yeah, alright, perfect. We see one kill going over to your team already. Your team has probably already really won the fight, and there's nothing left for them to do. However, it looks like they're going to greed and try and kill Kha'Zix with the enemy bot lane moving up. So you got to try and move up here, and if there's going to be a fight, then you should try and influence it. Because your team is kind of fucking up really hard here, but let's see. The Kha'Zix jumping in here. At this point, you should already be autoing him. You should have already used W on him as well. You want him to be dead as soon as possible. You also probably want to use heal just to be on the safe side. Make sure that if any of your teammates could die here, you hopefully save them. You didn't need to flash her. You weren't at risk at all. You did end up using W, but you didn't use heal. Morgana lives anyway. You just wasted flash though. Yeah, at that point, probably just want to back. However, yeah, you want to back, I think. Only unfortunate thing is, because you did start off shoving that wave, it's no longer a freeze for you. You are going to miss some CS here by backing. You do have more HP than Jhin, however you are going to be lacking a support, so you're not going to be able to shove this out. At this point, I think the best move is just going to be to cut your losses and just back, and accept that you're going to miss some farm. But you're going to lose a lot less in the process than if you were to just try and go into lane right now and just try and lane 1v2, and eventually have to have a bet back anyway, because you don't have a support. Yeah, you do back here. Which is good. Switch by. Alright, well you should have already bought your items anyway. Whatever you want to buy, should already have them. The more time you spend in base, you are wasting XP and gold that you could be getting from last hits. You want to already know what you, or not know what you back for by the time you start channeling recall, but while you're channeling recall in that 8-second channel, you need to decide. You need to decide what you want. You need to buy it fast. Like, the reason people often get caught window shopping when they're backing or something is because they need to be looking at the shop already and deciding what they want and like getting the items ready to purchase as soon as they back. They get their HP and mana back in the base and they immediately move out. You bought a Vamp Scepter and a refillable. I don't like refillable, but that's just me. Especially if you've already got Vamp Scepter, but I think most players would disagree, and most players do buy potions. I just think they're a waste of gold personally, though. But Vamp Scepter is fine here. It's actually really good against their bot lane since they're so, like, poke focused. Okay, so here... Well, yeah, you can't match their shove, so the move is just to try and probably just freeze as much as possible. You can't force the freeze too hard, though. You didn't have to lose this much HP for sure. Let me just see what went wrong here. Get the last hit, that's fine. Go for that melee. At this point, there's no reason not to use W here. You're not going to need it for a last hit. Even if you do need it for a last hit, getting some poke onto both of them, like right now, while they're so close together, it's just going to be too perfect. Ashe W is amazing poke. That could have been poke onto both of them there. And it also has the advantage of also slowing Zyra so she can't just engage on you. But you don't go for that. And then there's no need for you to be in range of these. This wave is like shoving in so hard that you're not going to miss any ECS here. You don't need to be in XP range. You don't need to last hit. After these first two hits, which were probably unavoidable, you should have already been out of range. You definitely don't ever want to actually hit the Zyra plants if they're focusing you. You only hit them if they're like in a minion wave and they're focusing the minions, because then you just want to get rid of them so they push slower. But if you're just like alone against the minions, the plants, there's no reason to be hitting them. Even without that Jhin W, you still took a really bad trade for no reason. Here, you don't want to hit the minions until they're actually already lost hittable, because you want to... I mean, it's going to be freezable anyway, because they will keep pushing anyway, but... Theoretically, if you just want to freeze, which is what you want to do, like right now, while he isn't hitting the minions, you shouldn't be hitting the minions either. You want to perfectly counteract his push, basically, but not out-push him either. Because that's how you end up with wave pushing towards them, which is not what you want. Like, especially now, you see Warwick is on their side of the jungle. He's going to take blue, maybe Gromp, then he's going to be in a perfect position to try and flank bot. If the wave is here, that is such a bad position for the enemy bot lane. You want to keep the wave exactly here. Which means not hitting this minion unnecessarily, because right now they're not pushing that hard. Right now, if the wave actually stays the way it is, it will end up pushing towards them. You want their minions to outnumber your minions. Not by such a great extent that it goes under turret and the wave resets. Just enough that it's always pushing towards you. And you can just tank the minions a little bit if necessary to keep the wave here. But here, for example, there would be no need for that because this wave is coming up in time. Should be looking for more poke like you just did. The Ashe W poke is like really high base damage. Here again, this wave is already in the perfect position. You don't want to ruin it at this point. You just want to hit minions. It's arguable, however, that you want to rotate, so you're just thinning it out a bit, which is fine. However, you do definitely want to be rotating right about now, so long as there's a chance for a fight here. You'd also just use your E here, just give your team some vision. Probably won't be used for much, but could give them some useful information potentially. You just want to keep going aggressive on Jhin here, I think. If you have a trinket, you place it here over this wall. You don't, but you can use E as well. Just to make sure there's nothing like potentially that can fuck you over this wall. Yeah, kissing here. I don't think you needed to use heal there, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, now this wave is still pushing towards you. This is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like, if you had backed in that situation before, like, imagine if the Jhin had actually backed right about here, in that scenario earlier, and you had also backed. What would have happened is exactly what's happening now. Your minions are all dying, but theirs, because they outnumber yours, are pushing harder, and more of them are staying alive. So, regardless of what happened in this fight, as far as the bot lane farm scenario goes, you benefited from this way more than Jhin, because this was a freeze. The only scenario in which this wouldn't have benefited you is if the fight took so long, or if the enemy wave had been so big that it had just had time to kill all your minions and go under turret. But that's why I said that thinning out the wave as you did before going to the roam. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but before you did that, maybe the wave was actually so big that this would have crashed under turret. Instead, the wave has just been perfect. You arrive into lane here, into 5 minions, and Jhin, if he were to just walk straight onto lane, which he hasn't because he died anyway. But even if he got into lane here, he would have arrived to nothing while you arrived to 5 minions, which is perfect. However, also, you don't necessarily want to overly focus on like the wave state and thinning out the wave before moving to a roam. If moving to the roam immediately, as fast as possible, is going to be really important, you know? Sometimes wave state is not the most important thing. But just to point out there, yeah, the wave state for you was amazing there. Also, because Jhin died, potentially you could have just backed again, because this wasn't going to crash fast. Let me just see how much gold you've got. You also have no need to, like, you're not urgently needing to back, though. That's the thing. So you've got 750 gold. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess you're going for 4. No, you're probably going for shield bow, I guess. So you could back for a double longsword already, which is pretty good. However, you also have full HP, full mana. There's no pressing need for you to back here. So even though a back here would be fine, because they you still have this freeze going on where your minions would die, but theirs wouldn't, or not to such great numbers. Would have been a fine back, however, you can actually just continue laning for a bit, and then hopefully get the shove and crush the turret under the wave, under the turret, sorry. And then you get the back. That all depends though on you being able to actually shove when they're in lane. If there's a fight here, you already want to be moving, just ignore the wave state. You gotta be there as fast as possible. So your pathing there was not amazing. You could have just passed through here immediately. You would have arrived to this fight sooner. I don't think it makes a difference though. Should definitely look for should have already looked for an ult on Echo there so he wouldn't kill Warwick. I think you have ult up, yeah. Warwick is a miracle maker though, so he survives there. So now you just want to run bot lane ASAP. Don't know where the enemy bot lane is. Okay, they've recalled. So at this point, you're not going to be able to shove this wave under the turret, but you will be able to shove the next one under the turret. So you start shoving as fast as possible. Because with the wave at this position, it's not going to like awkwardly half crash here. It's just going to like arrive right about here. So you shove as hard as you can. I would not look to back here. It does seem like pretty intimidating with Jhin being here at full HP and Zarya's following up soon. However, you've got Warwick around here, you got Morgana following up soon, and you got the bigger wave, which is like hard for them to engage on you with. So you should have just kept on shoving. However, you're not going to get punished for this. What should have happened here is Jhin just freezes the wave. And again, you're put in that situation where while you're backing and trying to walk back into lane, all of their minions are dying because your wave is bigger. But Jhin hasn't abused that. Instead, what he's done is just started hitting your wave and wave clearing as fast as he can. So by the time you get into lane, you're not actually gonna miss like much of anything. You have a pretty good back here, but only because of Jin's actions, because he fucked it up. Yeah, so you arrive here right as the wave is crashing. Some, like, maybe 2 or 3 minions died between your back and this happening. You barely missed out on anything. If you're the Jhin in that situation, you don't wave clear, you just lost hit. You wait for all of their minions to kill all of your minions. Because that way you just deny the most farm possible. Okay, so here we see Kha'Zix's top side. You don't really need to freeze to keep yourself safe. However, you do see Warwick can potentially be bot side. He's got all his bot side camps up. So if you keep this wave frozen here, and you even have ult still. So if you ping for Warwick to come gank. In fact, the correct move here is probably just to freeze as you're doing. Or as you could be doing. And just hype to Warwick, hey, come gank. The wave is really pushed. Free kill, because you have ult. Honestly, I don't even bother communicating to that extent to my jungler, but I probably should. Very beneficial. Here again, you don't want to be shoving here. This is not really a matchup where you want to be pushing up, I don't think. However, that should be a free kill. You didn't need to use ult there though. Yeah, let me just go back here. You shouldn't be pushing, but you are. That's whatever. So let's see how this fight starts. Okay, so that starts with Morgana landing a binding onto Zyra. If you're going to use ult on Zyra, you use it right now. Zyra at the moment can't dodge at all. Yeah, honestly, probably the right move here is just to ult. The thing is, if you just walk up here, as you seem to be doing, the correct move for Zyra here is to press E on you, use all of her abilities on you, her ultimate included, and you lose like 80% of your HP here. If Jhin follows that up, then you die. You can't follow up on Zyra at all here unless you're going to immediately ult her. And hopefully then the CC chain is enough that you can just kill her before she does anything. It doesn't matter because Zyra doesn't actually do anything here. It doesn't... She like does nothing at all for so long, and then she ends up wasting everything on Morgana, who's got spell shield up. So, but the way they played out this fight was terrible, but in the end you could have like... Should have honestly just left that kill to Zyra. There was no point wasting ultimate just on the Zyra kill there. What you do here, once that fight is played out the way it is, the way it has, is you just let Zyra die to that. Then you follow up here, you just chase Jhin here, wait for the Morgana stun to land, and then once that stun lands, then you can start channeling your ultimate right about when the stun is ending, so you can like chain your CC properly. You don't want to use it at the start of the stun, because then you waste CC duration because they don't stack. You don't want to use it after the stun's ended either, because then you could potentially flash your ultimate. So what happens here is that he ends up flashing out of the Morgana ultimate, so the connection is broken. She can't actually stun him. However, now he's stuck running in a straight line here. If you were to use your ultimate on him from here to here, the only way he can actually dodge is like to the right. There's not enough room for him to move to the left to dodge this. So if you aim your ultimate like just very slightly, not even actually, I think if you just aim it like perfectly, you're just only very slightly to the right. Even if he dodges to the left, it still hits him, and he can't dodge to the right because you're aiming it slightly to the right. So if you had your ultimate here, which you should still have it, I mean, ideally you would have used it already at the very, very start of the fight, but assuming you hadn't done that, then the move was to not waste it on Zyra when she's 1 HP, and you just save it for here, and this would be a free ultimate hit. At this point, however, Zyra... Yeah, okay, Morgana has Q up still, so you just want to continue chasing and see if he lands that. Okay, she doesn't. Jhin autos, but then walks back, so there's nothing to do here anymore. Yeah, just throw out your W. But at this point, probably just want to start looking to shove this wave and start backing. You want to use W or whatever. Just spam autos as much as you can. Yep, shove this out as fast as possible. At this point, it's a bit greedy to go for this. I guess Morgana wants to go for a dive. However, it's a bit risky. If Jhin knows what he's doing, he's not going to walk up at all until there's a minion wave behind him. Then you're gonna have he's going to have minion cover from the Morgana Q. A dive is probably just not really on the table at all here. So if you stay here, you're wasting your time. You have a good back opportunity right now, because if you just back right now, Jhin will not be able to shove in the next wave fast enough because the wave hasn't even arrived yet. You want to get into lane as soon as possible after backing and get here in time so that if he shoves this wave, you're already here and you can just start freezing the wave, which would make his back bad. There's nothing to do here. You don't want to still be here by the time Zyra arrives here. All I'm saying doesn't even really matter because he actually fucked up enough that he did end up dying. But that's honestly pure luck, and you shouldn't have actually expected the scenario to happen. But anyway, now that it did happen, Shove this out ASAP. Again, I wouldn't even bother with the... No, I'm okay, that plating is really juicy. However, probably still wouldn't bother with it. Just about the wave and then back. Yeah, so you've actually put yourself in risk of a gank now. But what I would have wanted you to do here is just shove out the wave and then immediately just start backing. Because you don't want to be here as well by the time Jin arrives, because he's going to arrive with all the items that he could buy with his gold. And you're still going to be here with a bunch of unspent gold. You don't want that to happen. You want to back and arrive into lane with your new items as well. So this gank, yeah, honestly, if Morgana played that right, you wouldn't have even had to heal her. However, I guess she should live here. Oh, that's cycle with ignite. Oh, never mind, rip. Okay, even aside from this, even aside from the fact that your support died, another big thing here is that your back is massively delayed now. Because you didn't just immediately start backing as soon as you could. Like, at this point, though, you do still have to back. Even if you're going to miss out on this entire wave, you have to back at some point. At some point, you will have to back and miss out on farm. It may as well be now, because you have a lot of unspent gold, I imagine. Or do you? Wait, hang on. Yeah. You can already get the shield bow. You should just be looking to do that already. Ooh, really risky to put yourself in that position. However, you managed to dodge the ghost shot, so you survive. You're stuck in a loop where you're just trying to stay in lane until you get a good back, but you're not gonna get a good back because you're down in items basically, and your support is off the lane. Even once they get here, you should probably be expecting to be on the back foot, which means you're never gonna get the shove off to get a good back off. You do get a gank from Katarina though. Didn't need to use ult there. You could just keep autoing them. If you just keep autoing Jin, he's never gonna escape there because you have slows. You would only ever have to ult if he somehow ends up escaping your slow cycle. Or your chain of slows. And probably he would just die to your chain of slows, and then you can look to ult the Zyra. Try and kill her instead. Alright, like again, it doesn't even matter. Like they end up dying either way. Like a lot of the things that I'm saying, it doesn't even end up mattering because the enemies are just playing so bad anyway. But you know, that's also something to learn from the enemy's mistakes, because you're at the same elo as them, so you're making these mistakes as well, right? Most of them. You gotta learn from that. Anyway, whatever happening there, not our concern. You got shield bow, berserker is perfect. Could have also maybe grabbed the pink. I'm not sure if you had enough gold or not. If you have enough gold for pink though, and you don't already have a pink on the map, then as well just grab that though. Okay, so there's no need to be hitting these minions if they're already like in a perfect position to last hit. So this minion, for example, if it gets another turret shot, it's probably just going to be like 10 HP and you can still last hit it. So no need to hit this minion. If you hit this minion, Nestlin's gonna get a turret shot and it's gonna die. This minion, if it gets a turret shot, it's still gonna need like one auto attack worth of setup to last hit it. So you need to auto attack this once before the turret hits it. So then you can last hit it. This minion is a goner because of your mistake. This minion is gonna take 2 turret shots, then you can last hit it. So no need to hit it, but you do hit it. You end up missing it because it was already perfect setup and you just ruined it. This minion, you needed to hit it once. Now 1 turret shot will set it up for the last hit, so you don't need to hit it anymore. But you do, so the 1 turret shot ends up killing it instead. This minion needs some setup, which means you need to probably auto it twice for the last hit, because if it takes a single turret shot before you hit it at all, well, even if you hit it, like it's gonna die to the turret unless you hit it twice. 2 autos should last hit it for you though. The rest of these, all perfect HP. They will take 1 turret shot, then need 1 auto for you to last hit them. So no need to hit them at all. Just last hit, just auto attack this thing twice, and then you'll be able to get every last hit in this wave. So good. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Perfect. Yes. So you do seem to understand this. You did like understand the setup for those casters perfectly, but you ruined the setup, your own setup for those melees for no reason. You just gotta like concentrate on that. It is important not to miss like huge amounts of farm for no reason. If you're doing that on like every wave, then you're just missing out on a massive amount of farm. Here, let's see what was happening here. Okay, so your E reveals that they're on Drake. We have Warwick out round. No, Warwick is dead. We do have Katarina though. We have Morgana. Where's their jungler? So, okay, so their jungler's here. So where's their mid laner? I'm gonna assume Echo. Yeah, Echo is here. Echo is just out of vision. So you're outnumbered here. So there's probably nothing you really want to do here. If I were you in this situation, I'm just letting the streak go. I don't even bother trying to steal. The chances of it actually working is like such a long shot. Apparently they don't even have smite, so there's a chance it would work out, but it's not even worth it in my opinion. You would just stay in lane and just not shove here, because then this would leave you vulnerable to getting collapsed on here immediately. But you just want to stay here and just last hit, get XP. However, you do try and contest. You use the W on Echo. Ends up getting really low, so actually maybe if you ult the Echo, potentially he dies. I would probably just be looking to snipe Echo here, like aiming more or less to the right, so even if he dodges it, at least it hits somebody here. And it forces Echo to run to the left, which is like the opposite direction of escape. So maybe somebody can clean him up afterwards. At this point, not looking like an amazing fight, unless Katarina can 1v9 here. Let's go. Two. Does immediately kill the Echo, there's a lot of AoE. However, she dies immediately after. There's a Kha'Zix there who didn't die. Yeah, you can potentially kill... What is this? Zyra. You can potentially kill Zyra if you hit her with W and ult. So the W sets up a free ultimate because she's slowed now. The thing is, you're also like really close to these guys over here, but you do have shield bow. I think you can probably just tank this Jhin and kite him away. You should probably win a fight against them, but you need to get the Zyra killed ASAP and not over chasing her as you are. I would have just used your ultimate to finish her off after the W. You still have your ultimate. I think you've forgotten you have ult. At this point, you need to run. Can't fight there. Too low HP. Oh well. But anyway. Okay, so you're going for the Wits End second, which is really strong. You don't build like this though. Negatron is like the last component you want to build at Wits End. If you're backing on like 700 gold, the perfect back in this situation is double longsword. Double longsword is pretty solid. Way better than Negatron cloaks, since MR is not always gonna have value if you're not against if you're not literally taking damage from a magic damage champion, let alone a magic damage champion being in the fight. But you're always getting value out of the AD. No matter what the situation, you're almost always going to be getting some damage off. Very rare that you're not. So yeah, here no reason not to take the turret. Go ahead. However, hang on. Okay, so after taking this turret, you can shove out this next wave. However, it's very risky if you have no idea where the enemy jungler is, for example. Like, I'm just looking at the map right now and noticing there's a whole lot of dark and a whole lot of distance between you and your turret. At least Jhin is low as well, though. You do have ult as well. Actually, potentially, even if you get flanked from here, the move is just immediately ult Jhin and just kill him. Even if you don't see Kha'Zix here, this just looks like such a free kill. I would just go for that. The one thing I would do though is I would probably just use E around this area just to confirm there's nobody trying to cheese you. But even if there is, like, it's very unlikely Jhin would even survive. And it's unlikely that whoever it is would be able to kill you 1v2. But yeah, okay, so we see Kha'Zix here, so... You either kill Jhin or you run. Those are your two options here. Don't finish shoving out the wave. At this point, yeah, so you should be able to survive no matter what happens here. Yeah, so that's fine. However, you could have also just killed Jhin, honestly. In fact, if you see Kha'Zix and you just ult Jhin and you just kill him and then you just turn on Kha'Zix, that's potentially a double kill for you. Running was not necessary. The only important thing is that you don't start the fight by focusing Kha'Zix and then just end up getting ganged up on by Jhin as well. As long as you start the fight by killing Jhin and then turning on Kha'Zix, you easily win that. Okay, again, an ultimate onto Zyra from there while she's rooted. Can't dodge. Would be really good. You delayed it enough that she does get some cooldowns off though, which was necessary. You can just probably chase him down. Yeah, I was gonna say the only concern is maybe somebody being here. I was gonna say also though, however, you do see Kha'Zix on mid, so you're not too worried about that. But then their top laner somehow shows up here. That's really random. That's a bit unfortunate. But definitely should be using your E a lot more often, like when you're in a position where you could get ganked, or if you want to go for a fight and somebody might join in. Definitely want to look to use E and see if anybody's trying to join in on the fight. What level are you now? Are you level 9 yet? You're level 10. At this point, you just want to get blue trinket. Oh shit. You want to just switch to blue trinket. Blue trinket is way better than yellow trinket once you're past laning phase. So yeah, now we're getting to like the macro part of the game, where oh, you hate to see it. There was no need for Morgana to deny these minions from you. You know, I was gonna say, yeah. So the move for you here is just to go bot, grab that farm, and then you just shove out another wave as well. Let's see. So we see enemy bot lane is here. At this point, I would say you're much stronger than them. You don't have ultimate though, but if you have Morgana with you, then you can at least like W them, poke them. Make sure you dodge any skill shots so you're not getting too close until you know you're safe from them. Okay, so you're gonna get ganked. So you should be walking up to engage on Jhin ASAP. At this point, I would be using E just to try and get vision of them outside of vision, and then just try and snipe them with ultimate. Yeah, this ends up leading probably to nothing, but it could have been something. You just needed to follow up sooner. Okay, so at this point, I would walk back. And just farm this before you shove this wave, because potentially you still had time to get this cannon and also these casters, and then you turn on this wave instead. This way, however, you are going to like shove out the wave faster, which is a bonus. After you shove out this wave, you should start to move mid immediately. Okay, now you want to go mid, unless you already have enough gold for Wit's End by any chance, but you don't. You don't need to be bot lane anymore. What you want to do is you rotate mid, you shove out one wave, you get this turret, and then you either stay mid or you rotate bot. That depends on what Katarina does. If this, like, the only bot lane here is just going to shove this out. And so there's going to be a wave, like, around here, which somebody may as well farm. It's going to be either you or Katarina. Ideally, you want it to be Katarina so you can stay mid, stay grouped with the team. Like, on the center of the map where everything happens, and Katarina's just on the side lane. However, if she doesn't do that, then you would only be able to farm mid by sharing farm with Katarina, which is not good. You don't want to share farm with your solo laners. So if she just stays mid, then you go bot, you grab that wave, shove it out again. Then in that situation, you definitely have enough gold for Wit's End, so then you back. But you don't want to just stay here on bot lane doing nothing. Just farming. There's no need for that when you could just be mid lane and getting a turret right now. Also, again, well, not again, but you don't want to be like so far up while the enemy bot lane is here as 2 and you're alone. Potentially, you could have got hit by a brute there and gotten killed. So watch out for that. At this point, you do want to shove this. You do want to try and shove this out, since if Morgana's here, at least with you, you should have prio over them. You're stronger than them, so they want to avoid fighting you, which means you get to hit the wave before them, because they're trying to avoid you. As long as Morgana's here, you need to ping Morgana to come help you. Either way, I would also just use E around this area. Make sure that the enemy bot lane is not just sitting in a brush trying to cheese you. And assuming they're not, which they're not, perfect. They actually went base or something. No. They went into their jungle. So you just shove this out, and then you can do Drake. If you're going to do Drake, you shouldn't even be doing Drake. You have no jungler here. This is really random. You should just be shoving this out, and then how much do you have? Okay, not enough for Wit's End, so you rotate mid. But you got the Drake anyway. So at this point, yep, still want to shove out bot. Although you've missed out on a lot of farm this way, you see. You just missed out on an entire wave. Potentially you're gonna go one caster if you use W, but yeah, just missed out on a lot of farm for no reason. Here, I would not be expecting a fight to happen. I guess Katarina really wants to force one. But yeah, nothing happens. In this situation, because you were so close to this wave already, I would have spammed ping Katarina back. Ping her back, say, no, we're not fighting here. I want to shove out this wave. Shove out that wave. Then you go do whatever you want to do. If that's a fight, you fight. If you want to rotate mid, you do that. But like right now, there's a lot of minions dying on bot lane, going to nobody. You could have shoved this out like twice already. So at this point, you're a bit late, but if you go bot lane now, you can like shove out this wave and then also shove out the next one pretty safely. You have Ashe. You are pretty much always safe by doing this. So you get the cannon. Nice, perfect. You shove out this wave as well. Doesn't matter that there seems like there's a lot of champions grouped up here that could potentially fight each other. You just spam ping them back, and you hope that they don't fight. Because this is guaranteed income for you. Guaranteed XP, guaranteed gold. Anything potentially happening here, it's like only potentially. And if you just play your cards right, you just tell your team, don't fight. You know, through pings. You tell them through pings not to fight, and they don't fight. And you get free gold. That's going uncontested. That, yeah, you shoved one wave, but you didn't shove the next one. Another free wave missed out on. There's a lot of farm that you could have potentially had already in the mid game, but you're not going for it. Here, I don't even know why anybody's here. There's nothing to fight over. Drake is gone, but that's gonna be a free call for you guys. Okay, so at this point, may as well just shove out this wave. Shouldn't be expecting anybody to die here, so you just go for the wave. Then somebody needs to be taking their camps. Their camps are free for your team right now. You shove this out. Potentially this could be even a kill on Jhin. Yeah, like you see pretty much everybody on the map. The only person unaccounted for. No. Zyra's dead, so everybody is accounted for. You don't have ult though, but I think he was in range of your W, which would have been like really free dive. You have shield bow. You're tank enough to survive the turret. Even if you don't want to tank the turret, the slow would set up a combo for Katarina to one shot him. That should have been a free kill. However, he backs off. At this point, that's just a free turret. Just perfect. At this point, don't even bother like shoving out another wave. Just go on to their... Your moves here are either to farm their jungle, starting with the Gromp, or you just rotate mid, and... Because potentially there might be a fight happening here. Not Echo 1v2, but like... Maybe somebody joins in from here. Maybe there's a fight about to happen. So you want to join in on that potentially. And if you don't expect that to happen, then you just farm their camps. However, now you're here, so at this point you may as well just... Nah, you can't even get the turret here. They've got enough wave clear. So somebody needs to be farming their camps. No reason for them to get their camps in this situation. This should go to your team. Doesn't even have to be your jungler. Camps have a lot of value for ADCs as well. They give a lot of gold. And XP. And the most important thing is you're denying it from the enemy team. At this point, what's your gold? So you have more than enough for Wit's End. I would have backed already, and then I probably would have just shoved out top lane. Either way, at this point, since you're in this situation, you can shove out one more mid wave. Should probably be safe. I would use Ashe right about... I don't know, maybe here. Make sure Warwick is safe. Otherwise here. But I'm pretty sure you're safe here. Just shove out one wave. And then you just back for Wit's End. So you're gonna back it without shoving, which means you're gonna miss out on some free farm here for no reason. Going for the Zeal, which I'm assuming is for the Wit's End. That's perfectly fine. A lot of people actually prefer to do Ginsu's third item, because you've already got the Wit's End at that point and does a lot of on-hit. Synergizes well with the Wit's End, the Ginsu's, but Renez is perfectly fine as well for more wave clear, the AoE slows, AoE damage, etc. Okay, this should definitely never have happened. Because you farm out this wave. At this point, there's a whole like dark area around your map, and you see Volibear here. You know one enemy is in your jungle already. Well, where is everybody else then? Is Volibear alone? You remember, you're Ashe, you have E. You can always just... Oh, you don't actually have E right now. Or you could also have potentially Blue Trinket. Either way, like potentially you're gonna go for red buff here. You can do red buff safely, even if somebody turns out to be in this jungle. Like they're not gonna be in a position to kill you if you're just like positioned here, just kiting the red buff out. However, the red buff will get stolen by Kha'Zix, but you know that's whatever. At least it's not a death. Frantic collapse on Volibear here, like without any vision whatsoever, really risky, and you also don't have any teammates here yet either. Yeah, so we see Echo was here in your jungle. Kha'Zix was also here. You know, this dark area of the map, it's really scary. You need to be scared of that. There's just no way to survive there. Good thing you didn't waste summoners. This is plat? No, this is a bronze replay that we're watching. This is whatever. Whoever for you to revive. Because your team seemingly ended up winning the fight anyway, but didn't start off with you playing all that well. So at this point, Baron is not a possibility for your team, I don't think. So what I would do is just go bot, get that free farm. Give this wave, maybe shove out another one. Well, definitely shove out another one. Maybe even another one, depends on how safe you are at the time. But definitely at least one wave. Good. Also remember, you want to leave the base as soon as possible, so you're missing out on as little as possible. Shove out another wave. It's so free. You have time to get to it, get the wave before Drake spawns as well. So this is a wave you could have farmed. You just missed out on that. Nice. So that's really solid. I would be spamming the Baron right about now, because their jungler just died. And even if you don't want to do the Baron, then what you can do is you just shove out bot lane. Again, that's another free wave. I wouldn't farm this though, because if you are gonna do Baron, you just want to get there as soon as possible before the Kha'Zix revives. You do want to use Zia right about here. You already saw Volibear. Potentially, there's more people. So we see he does seem to be alone. I don't know what Jhin is doing here, but before Jhin showed up, I would have been looking to ult the Volibear and get a catch on him. He should be able to escape though, but at least we get him low HP. Or there doesn't do that fight here, so at this point, yeah, just go for that fight. There's an echo somewhere around here, which you could have kept chasing. You just need to make sure you're using E, so you can actually have vision during these fights, and not just losing vision in the bushes, which would be terrible. Yeah, you're still not using E. You really need to. You could have been kiting the Volibear a bit there. You were only running. I think in that situation, if you're gonna die, even if, regardless of whether you auto or not, so you might as well just auto. At least the autos also give you lifesteal, so you're getting some HP back from that. Okay, so here you just want to go mid. And, well, not even mid at this point, you just ignore mid wave, because your jungler's on the Baron for whatever reason, so you just help him. So that's a free Baron for you guys. So, although, like, it should have been with some risk. Also, around the time that the Baron was like 30% HP, I would use my E around this area so we can see if Kha'Zix is like right up here maybe. It's just anywhere trying to jump in and steal the Baron. So your team can at least be aware of that and try and counteract it. All these waves, wouldn't you say it would be better for Sett or Ashe to grab those large waves? You mean Sett or Katarina? Like, but usually it's better for the solo laners to grab the side waves, so you can also be grouped on mid. However, you know, you're not just expecting your teammates to know that. So, if you see a big ass wave, and you should just go for it. Especially because in a lot of these scenarios, the solo laners were nowhere near to grab that wave, so you might as well just grab it yourself. You can group later. Oh, all these waves. Oh, so grab those waves instead of going for Baron. It's the guaranteed play. The Baron would be a lot higher reward though, obviously, if it works out. Since the jungler was dead, I would say that's a pretty good time to go for Baron then. Okay, if you have ult, then you could, yeah, you should just be following up the ultimate on the root here while Zara can't flash or anything. Honestly, it doesn't really matter because Morgana has a lot of damage, so you just end up picking the kill with W. But you should always be looking to try and chain your CC with your teammate's CCs if possible. If they're not just gonna immediately die without your ultimate. If your ultimate is gonna be needed, then it's good to use it while it's undodgeable. I think you guys could have ended. Oh well. Okay, so at this point, should be pinging Katarina off the red buff, so you can hopefully get that. I don't know, where's the enemy wave here? Okay, so there is a mid wave you could potentially farm. When is Drake spawning? Can't actually tell. Is there a timer? Well, either way, if Drake is only like 15 seconds away from spawning, you have time to farm out this mid wave. There's like very little risk of you getting caught out as well. In fact, even though it's spawned already, like your team is not in a position to take it, so no reason not to get that mid farm. This looks like you guys are just gonna enter their base again. What I would actually do instead of just going into their base is just push bot, but potentially not necessary. So watch out for that echo ult. Okay, somehow their entire team just died. Good shit. Now it should be Trank then. There we go. I mean, okay, to be fair, I also pad my CS stats, but whatever. But yeah, hope you found this helpful. Definitely need to work a lot more on not missing out on unnecessary last hits during the laning phase. You missed out on a lot of last hits that were just kind of silly, and I think you knew, like, you understood how you needed to set up the minions or when they were set up or not. You're just like unfocused and just hitting minions for no reason, costing yourself a lot of farm that way. And then the mid game, definitely have a think about like when you can actually afford to go for a wave. Because a lot of the waves you just weren't going for, even though you had plenty of time, there was going to be very little chance of that getting punished. Whether by getting collapsed on by some assassin, or because your team were unlikely to fight. You know. I don't know how much CS you ended up with, but I'm sure it was like really low. I think I saw like 125 CS or something by 30 minutes, which is really bad. So you need to, you know, go for those waves. Did find this helpful? Thank you very much. Alright, good to hear. My voice is killing me now, holy shit.